What do you think about Canelo?
It's good. Canelo is good.
Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao are reportedly teaming up in training camp, each preparing for one of the biggest challenges of their careers. Canelo's got his hands full with the undefeated pound-for-pound king, Terence Crawford. Meanwhile, Pacquiao isn't taking it easy either. He's stepping into the ring with a young, hungry world champion in Mario Barrios. Both men are staring down massive fights. So, what better time to join forces? Let's break down what's really going on behind the scenes. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is shaping up to be one of the biggest events in boxing history. It's already being hyped as the fight of the century, and for good reason. You've got two undisputed champions, two pound-for-pound elite fighters, and one massive spotlight waiting in Saudi Arabia this September.
Fight in September between the two great fighters in our generation. Canelo Alvarez and Crawford.
This isn't just a big fight, it's a legacy fight. And what makes it even more fascinating is that Canelo isn't preparing for it alone. Word is, he's training alongside none other than Manny Pacquiao. That's right. The legendary Filipino icon, Hall of Famer, and multi-division world champion is reportedly in camp with Canelo. It's the kind of partnership that sounds like a fantasy matchup in a video game, but it's happening in real life. According to sources close to both camps, the two fighters have decided to join forces as they prepare for their respective challenges. Canelo, fresh off a dominant win over William Skull, now holds all four major belts at super middleweight, WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF.
Canelo Alvarez!
That win wasn't just about adding another title to his collection, it was a strategic move that positioned him perfectly for a showdown with Crawford, thanks in part to his high-stakes deal with Saudi Arabia. Beating Skull didn't just cement Canelo's dominance at 168 pounds, it opened the door to one of the most anticipated fights of the decade. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is taking a huge risk by stepping up 2 weight classes to face Canelo. That kind of jump is no joke, especially when you're facing someone with the experience and physical strength of Alvarez. But Crawford isn't just any fighter. He's one of the few men in boxing history, alongside Alexander Usyk and Naoya Inoue, to have become undisputed champion in 2 different weight divisions in the 4-belt era. Still, going from 154 to 168 is a whole different ballgame. The power, the pace, the endurance, everything changes. And that's where Manny Pacquiao comes into the picture in an unexpected but poetic way. Pacquiao made these kinds of leaps throughout his storied career. From flyweight all the way up to super welterweight, he fought and beat legends across 8 divisions. If there's anyone who understands what it takes to climb through the weight classes and still remain effective, it's Pacquiao.
I just want to say this to the world. It's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154 and knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blessed.
But Pacquiao isn't just in camp to offer advice. He's also getting ready for a fight of his own. At 45 years old, he's set to face Mario Barrios, a current welterweight title holder and a dangerous young contender with speed, hunger, and something to prove. It's hard not to get excited about what this means behind the scenes. Imagine the sparring sessions, the tactical breakdowns, the mutual respect. These are 2 of the most disciplined, experienced fighters of this generation, sharing knowledge and preparing for 2 very different but equally tough fights. Canelo brings explosive power, methodical pressure, and sharp bodywork. Pacquiao still has that blinding speed, footwork, and unpredictable angles that made him a nightmare for decades. Training together is bound to bring out the best in both of them. For Canelo, it's about preparing for one of the slickest, most cerebral opponents he's ever faced. Crawford is a master of adjustments, and his ability to switch stances and break opponents down has left many top fighters looking lost. So, with both fighters gearing up for major moments in their careers, their decision to train together isn't just cool, it's smart. It's a reminder that in boxing, no matter how great you are, iron still sharpens iron. And when two legends team up, you can bet something special is brewing. It's not every day you see two boxing dynasties collide, but that's exactly what's happening right now in Canelo Alvarez's training camp. Not only is the Mexican superstar working alongside the legendary Manny Pacquiao, but he's also spending time with Manny's son, Jimuel Pacquiao. That's right. The son of one of the greatest fighters of all time is now shadowboxing side by side with Canelo himself. And from the looks of it, Canelo isn't just going through the motions, he's taking the time to mentor the young Pacquiao, sharing tips, techniques, and years of ring wisdom. There's actual footage of the two doing shadowboxing drills together, and you can see the level of focus and mutual respect between them. Canelo even took Jimuel aside to show him how to handle situations against the ropes, a subtle but critical part of ring craft that can make or break a fight. It's these little moments that show Canelo's evolution, not just as a fighter, but as a figure in the sport, someone who gives back, someone who now carries the wisdom of experience and is willing to pass it on.
Same in the rope. If you're right here, you can do something.
When Manny Pacquiao was asked about Canelo and what he thinks of him, he kept it short and classy, calling Canelo a good fighter. It was a simple response, but sometimes that's all you need.
What do you think about Canelo?
It's good. Canelo is good.
Coming from someone who's faced legends across 8 weight divisions, a compliment like that carries real weight. And Manny's not the only one in the Pacquiao family who holds Canelo in high regard. His son, Jimuel, was even more vocal about his admiration. He didn't hesitate to call Canelo #1 right now, praising not just his power but the fear he instills in other fighters.
Stay away from Canelo, man.
Yeah.
Canelo's #1 right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got #1 pound for pound. You got him #1.
Yeah, number one.
What do you like?
Jimuel broke it down even further, explaining that what sets Canelo apart isn't just his physicality. It's the way he moves, the way he carries himself in the ring. According to Jimuel, Canelo is a perfect blend of power and technique, a sophisticated version of the classic Mexican warrior style. And honestly, that's a pretty accurate take. Canelo has always been known for his explosive punching power and granite chin, but in the last several years, he's added layers to his game. His defense has tightened up, his head movement is slick.
Yeah.
Man, he's just, first off, his power. You know, he keeps guys, really scared of that power. And the way he moves, he's very slick in there.
He doesn't waste shots, and he controls the tempo of the fight like a chess master. So hearing someone from a boxing family like the Pacquiaos acknowledge that speaks volumes. It shows that the respect Canelo has earned isn't just from the fans or the media, it's from fellow fighters and legends of the game. It also makes you wonder, what exactly did Canelo show them during training that left such a strong impression? Was it the ring IQ, the patience, the subtle angles, or maybe just the way he carries himself? Calm, confident, always focused. Whatever it was, it's clear that training alongside Canelo gave the Pacquiao family a deeper appreciation for what he brings to the sport. And then there's the big question. How does Manny Pacquiao feel about Terence Crawford taking on Canelo? When asked if he had any advice for Crawford, Manny seemed a bit reluctant. You could tell he didn't want to reveal too much. Maybe he saw something in Canelo, a small weakness, a potential opening, but he wasn't going to share it. Whether out of loyalty, respect, or just boxing code, Manny kept it close to the chest. All he said was this: if Crawford wants to stand a chance, he needs to invest in his speed.
What happened?
Manny, you were a smaller fighter fighting bigger guys. What advice do you give Crawford for fighting Canelo, a bigger guy?
Oh, my advice is make sure that he will focus on speed. That he is to
That's a classic Pacquiao answer, really. Coming from a fighter who made a career out of blinding hand speed and footwork, it makes sense. Speed has always been the great equalizer in boxing. When you're facing a bigger, stronger opponent like Canelo, you can't stand in front of him and trade. You need to move, hit without being hit, and keep him guessing. And Crawford, to be fair, has that in his arsenal. But hearing that one simple piece of advice from Pacquiao, invest in your speed, hits differently when you consider who it's coming from.
What happened?
Manny, you were a smaller fighter fighting bigger guys. What advice do you give Crawford for fighting Canelo, a bigger guy?
Oh, my advice is like, make sure that he will focus on speed. That he is speed.
So now you've got this interesting dynamic playing out. You have Canelo, the current kingpin at super middleweight, preparing for the fight of his life against a smaller but insanely skilled opponent in Crawford. And you've got Manny Pacquiao, the master of beating bigger men, quietly passing on lessons to both his son and, indirectly, maybe even to Canelo himself. It's like the torch is being passed in more ways than one. From one era to the next, from one legend to another, and maybe from one future star to someone still writing their own story. Whatever the outcome of Canelo versus Crawford, one thing's for sure. Canelo's camp is buzzing with energy, experience, and a ton of respect from some of the biggest names in the sport. And that kind of atmosphere can only mean one thing: we're in for something special. But what about you, fight fans? What's your opinion on all this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.